Hey guys, we're here today in Valheim, taking a look at 7 tips that can help you conquer the Black Forest. Tip number 1 is really quick and super simple. Skip bronze armor. As soon as you get to copper and tin, you're going to start making yourself bronze at the forge and having access to a lot of new weapons and armor. And you might be tempted to use that to make bronze armor, but there's a lot of other things that are better to make, and bronze armor just isn't that big of an armor increase over leather armor, and leather armor is much cheaper to upgrade in quality, which means the reduction in your movement speed just isn't worth it. Along with the fact that troll armor is much better across the board at this stage and can actually be used throughout most of the game. This isn't to say that heavy armor in general isn't worth it, but bronze armor particularly is not a big enough step up in armor class for you to spend the resources on it. Tip number 2 is to try and utilize the different factions that exist in the Black Forest to your advantage. The 3 types of enemies you'll find in the Black Forest are Grey Dwarfs, Skeletons, and Trolls. And although Trolls and Grey Dwarfs seem to get along, Skeletons and Grey Dwarfs do not. So anytime you have a horde of one on you, try and lure them into a group of the other kind, and they will fight each other and give you some help. This means as you travel through the Black Forest and you locate different burial chambers, maybe try to avoid killing the skeleton guards outside until you need to. That way they're always there as backup whenever you need to get some Grey Dwarf off your tail, or you've bit off a little more than you can chew. Tip number 3 is to be aware of noise. The creatures in Valheim have very good AI when it comes to noise generation, and they can hear you anytime you're harvesting. Especially when you're using a pick on any metal like copper or tin, it will attract creatures in the entire area and can cause you quite a bit of trouble. It's a good idea before you start harvesting a large copper node to take a look around the woods and try and eliminate any bad guys beforehand, or it could make for a very difficult fight. Tip number 4 is to take down any Grey Dwarf spawners you come across when you see them. They will be these eerie looking plants with purple smoke coming off it, spawning Grey Dwarfs. It might be tempting just to move on and keep yourself safe for the time being, but in the long run, it's going to be really nice if you take these out right when you come across them, or at least when you're able to, and eliminate all the spawners you can. The more you eliminate, the less Grey Dwarfs there are in the woods, and the safer it is to operate and to harvest copper and tin. You also don't know how far away the next spawner is. So if you leave it alive, you might have more in one area than you thought and get overwhelmed very quickly. If you can take these out right away, it's best. Even if you have to run away from the leftover Grey Dwarf once you finish it, it's best to have the spawn point gone so that no more pop up. Tip number 5 is to strategically use trolls for harvesting. Trolls hit incredibly hard, and that's no secret, especially the guys with the giant logs. What can be very helpful is to use these guys to break up a copper node or to break down a bunch of pine trees so you can get core wood. You obviously have to watch out and not get hit yourself, but it can be very helpful to have trolls do all the heavy lifting and most of the work. And if you're an adventurous player, you can even use this tip before you get to the Black Forest and utilize trolls to get you fine wood, core wood, and metals before you even have access normally in the game. Tip number 6 is to make sure you're marking troll caves and burial chambers on your map and utilizing them when you need them most. These zone lines can be great ways to escape a fight that you weren't ready for or one that you were losing. If you can see one nearby on your minimap while you're in a fight that's not going well, simply run into the troll cave or into the burial chamber and break those aggroed mobs off of you. Even if it's an occupied troll cave, just make sure when you zone in, you crouch down and you stay sneaky, and it will give you a minute of a break from the mobs outside and let you get some rest. This is a tip that should help you throughout the entirety of the game. In every biome you go to, anything that has a zone line can help you escape a fight that you are not winning. So make sure you're marking all these locations on your map so you can make a timely escape whenever you need. And that brings us to our 7th and final tip, which is very simple. Mark empty burial chambers and troll caves that you've already cleared. Once you've placed markers on your map, simply left-clicking the marker will put a red X through it telling you that you've already done it. This will save you a lot of time in the game since the world is procedurally generated, all the Black Forest looks the same, and you won't be able to tell if you've been in an area before. Use this marking system on your map to your advantage so you don't go over the same things again and waste valuable time in Valheim. Well, that's all we got for today, guys. I hope that this video helped you, whether you're a returning player or a new player entering the Black Forest for the first time. Utilize some of these simple tips to conquer the Black Forest and make it as easy on you as possible. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.